You just accepted an offer for the sale of your home. Your home is now under contract, or what they call pending status. Now, if you're a seller, what are the next steps in the process? Well, that's going to be the subject of today's video, and we're going to get started right now. Hi, my name is David Matney with Nebraska Realty. I'm a local realtor here in Omaha, Nebraska. Now let's jump into today's topic. The purchase agreement serves as a roadmap for the transaction during the escrow process. Now, chances are, if you have a question, it's going to be found in the purchase agreement. In today's video is going to be an overview of the escrow process from the standpoint of the seller. After the contract is accepted, your realtor will give you a copy of a fully executed contract and also provide the title company with a complete copy of the purchase agreement and the listing agreement. The next step is the home inspection. Now, in our market, if the buyer elects to do a home inspection, the buyer has a 14-day window to conduct any and all inspections. That can include a whole house inspection, a sewer scope inspection, HVAC inspection, or a roof inspection. If the buyer wants that sort of an inspection done, then the buyer has that window of time that they can do so. As a seller, your agent is going to let you know when these inspections occur. The home inspection usually takes about 3 to 4 hours. Now, with the whole house inspection, the inspector is going to have a key to the electronic lockbox, and it's best if you're not present during this inspection. Now, if the home is vacant, the utilities will need to be turned on. After the inspection period, which is by 5 p.m. on the 14th calendar day after acceptance, the buyer is going to have two options. They can do an inspection notice addendum, or they can do a rejection notice addendum. If the buyer elects to do an inspection notice addendum, then the buyer can request repairs be made to the home before closing. Basically, the buyer has two options. The buyer can request that repairs be made, or the buyer can say, hey, you know what? The home inspection is unsatisfactory, and then bail out of the contract. If the buyer is requesting repairs, the buyer and the seller have until 5 p.m. on the 18th calendar day after acceptance to come to an agreement, or the deal is off. While the inspection process is going on, the title company is going to reach out and contact the seller and ask for the current loan information, and they're going to ask for your social security numbers. The title company will be conducting a title search on the property, and they're also going to be arranging for payoff of your existing loan. Next, the appraisal is conducted on the property. Now, one thing a seller can do to prepare is to write down a list of any and all updates or improvements that the appraiser may not be aware of. So usually the appraisal is ordered immediately by the buyer's lender, but it may take 2 weeks before the appraiser actually shows up at the home. Now, depending on your type of financing, the appraiser may require that certain repairs be completed before closing. Items such as chipped or peeling paint, all windows open and close freely, handrails if there's 3 steps or more, missing electrical fixtures or missing switch plates, or any exposed wiring. And there could be more to that list as well, but those are just some items you want to be aware of. Now, the appraiser will take measurements, take photos, and the appraiser will have access to the property via the electronic lockbox. Now, here's another little tip. Along with that list of improvements and upgrades, leave them a bottle of water and a candy bar, because nobody wants a hangry appraiser. If you do need to complete any repairs, make sure any repairs that are done are completed by licensed professionals. Now, you want to keep a copy of the paid invoice for yourself, and you want to also provide the buyer with a copy of the paid invoice. Part of the lending requirement will be a pest inspection. Now, the termite inspector will need access to the home and to any detached structures. So if your shed is locked, you want to make sure that it is unlocked for the termite inspector. Now, typically, the buyer pays for the pest inspection. However, if the buyer is using VA financing, then the seller is required to pay for the cost of a termite inspection, which will run you about $100. Now, if termites are found, then typically the seller has to pay for the cost of treatment, and the buyer has to accept the property as treated. About a week before closing, the title company is going to reach out to you and schedule a time to come into the title company and sign the deed set. The title company also is going to ask you how you'd like to be paid, either by wire or by check. Now, as we're getting close to closing day, you want to make sure that you're packed and that all your belongings are out of the home. You want the home to be broom clean, and make sure that the lawn is freshly cut before closing. The buyer will usually conduct a final walkthrough before closing. This is usually done 24 to 48 hours before closing. Your agent or the title company will provide you with final numbers for closing. This will show you exactly how much you're going to put in your pocket at closing. Now, when you leave the home for the last time, make sure you leave any extra keys or any garage door remotes on the kitchen countertop. Finally is closing day. Now on closing day, it's kind of non-eventful for the seller because the seller does not have to show up to closing. What's going to happen is the buyer's going to show up, the buyer's going to bring their funds for closing and sign all the paperwork and then receive their keys. And then the title company will contact you or your agent and let you know that the home is closed and that they're either going to wire the funds to your account or have a check ready for you to pick up of your proceeds. Now, after confirmation that the closing has occurred, then you can reach out to your insurance company to cancel your homeowner's insurance policy on the home. And finally, this will occur a couple of weeks after closing. Your loan company will send you a check for a couple of $100 for the balance of your escrow account. That'll be for any taxes or insurance. So you'll get a refund of that. And you usually get that check a few weeks after closing. And if you want to learn more about the buying process, hey, be sure to check out this video next and you make it a great day.